Hey, Fortune Firm here. My name is Zach Perry. We're going to talk to you a little bit about qualified plans again. A little bit different perspective. I love talking about qualified plans. You know, there's very little anymore that it's PC to insult, but qualified plans, they're fair game. I can say I can trash talk qualified plans all I want. Anyway, I want to kind of walk you through a familiar scenario. You may have been in this scenario personally. If not, you've certainly heard stories or seen it in movies, right? You need money. Maybe you want to start a business, open a restaurant, purchase a house, buy a car. But you need money. And so you walk into a bank, you put on your best suit, you've got your briefcase or your pantsuit or your dress and your purse, you're looking your best. You walk into a bank, you're a little nervous, you know that there's a good chance you won't get your money, right? So you sit down with that vice president of the bank or whoever it is, the loan officer, and you lay out your business plan or whatever it is you need your money for. Now, what the bank's going to do is, first off, they want to make loans. That's the only way they make money. Banks only make money if they can charge interest loaning their money, right? If they can use the money to make money. So banks want to offer loans, but they're not going to if they perceive it as too much of a risk, because they do not want to lose their money. They're in the business of making loans that will pay. They do not want to extend loans that won't pay. So to determine whether you're too much of a risk, they are going to, number one, they're going to assess the investment itself. They're going to look at what is it you want your money for, right? Now, if you want your money to buy a house, there's a lot less risk for the bank than if you want your money to open a restaurant. Because if you purchase a house, there's collateral, right? The house is going to have value. The land that you purchase it on is always going to have value, usually it goes up. Even if it doesn't, there's still going to be some value there. And it's not going anywhere. The bank's never going to have to track it down. If you're opening a restaurant, however, that's a lot riskier of an endeavor because restaurants fail. A lot of restaurants don't make it. And so the bank is going to look at the actual investment. They're going to assess the risk before they determine whether they want to loan to you. They also want to assess the risk of loaning to you personally, your credit worthiness. So they're going to run your credit. They're going to look at the history of other loans you've had and whether you make your payments on time and whether you've ever declared bankruptcy, etc. Because they want to minimize their risk. And to the extent that the risk is something they're willing to take, they're going to mitigate that risk by asking you to collateralize the property you're purchasing, or perhaps collateralize personal assets. They're going to assign an interest rate that has a relationship with the risk. So the higher the risk, the higher the interest rate. And if they approve the loan, then they're going to cross all the T's and dot their I's, have you sign on the dotted line, etc. And then they're going to give you the money, and then they're going to expect payment, and then they're going to do everything they can to make sure you get paid. But they go through this. That's their business model, right? They're putting their money in your hands, and they're going to make sure that you're going to be a proper steward of that money, and if you're not, that they have a way to get that money back, okay? Now, I want you to put yourself in the bank's shoes, okay? And I want you to think of the fact that if you are thinking about a qualified plan or you're already contributing to one, you are putting your money into someone else's hands. Now, like a bank, the idea is that you're profitable with your money, right? You want your money to grow, you want to have a retirement, etc. And so you want to be putting your money somewhere where the risk is either manageable it's definitely manageable, and you're getting paid for it, right? That you're getting something in exchange for putting your money somewhere where there's a risk. Now, when you put your money in a qualified plan, number one, there's definitely risk because typically it's going to be in a mutual fund, and there will be a whole different video about why it's a terrible idea to put your entire life savings and retirement into something as volatile as the stock market. But we'll save that for another day. But there's going to be risk with your money, right? Now, what guarantees does the government make about your money? Unfortunately, they really don't make any guarantees, okay? But ask yourself, if a bank is going to check my credit worthiness, should I not check the credit worthiness of the person that I'm putting when a bank loans you money, they're giving you a tiny portion of their overall portfolio, right? They've got billions of dollars in there, and they may be giving you 20,000 or 100,000 or 200,000. So they're just giving you a tiny bit But you're giving all of your money to the government when you stick it in a qualified plan. All the money you're going to need when you retire. You're sticking all your eggs in there, in that government basket. Did you check the government's credit worthiness? Did you go run a credit score, right? I mean, you're not going to run it the same way, but you can look up. You don't even need to look up. You know how much more the government spends than it takes in. Trillions. They've got $1 trillion deficits. It made news the first time the government spent $1 trillion more than they took in. Now it's not news anymore. Last year it was over $4 trillion they overspent. But that is the entity that you are sticking your future paycheck with. All of your money. All of your future money you're sticking, okay? So, like the bank, before you extended your loan to the government, did you check their credit history? Did you negotiate a written agreement? Did you require interest payments? No. What a raw deal you're getting. You are sticking that money you're going to need in the future with the government for a deduction with no promise in return. No guarantee that the money will grow. No guarantee that you won't lose it. No guarantee that they won't change taxes. No guarantee that they won't change the penalty. No guarantee that they'll change the earliest age when you have to start withdrawing and paying taxes. No guarantee that they won't raise taxes. No guarantee that they won't raise it above a certain amount. No guarantee at all. And that's where you're putting your money when you put it in a qualified plan. Now, let's talk through some alternatives. Let's do it personally. Call me. We'll talk one-on-one. I'll give you some ideas. Here are some things you can do where there are guarantees. There's guarantees you won't lose your money. There's guarantees that it'll grow. It grows tax-free. You're building toward, and you can use it tax-free. It's asset protected. The government has accepted it from their tax code, right? There are all sorts of guarantees you can do. And then you can still invest in anything you want. So let's talk about that. Give me a call. Like the video, subscribe, share it with your friends, leave a comment. We love all that stuff. But we'd love most of all if you took us up on our offer to give you a free consultation, no obligation. We'll just walk through your scenario. It's privileged. I am an attorney. Everything you tell me is privileged and confidential. I'd love to help you. May your fortune be with you always.